afternoon, or evening, whatever time it is, wherever you're coming from. Cowboys Nation, welcome to Starboys Network. I am your host, Zach White, and with me, as always, the lovely Camber Michelle. And right below us, special guest, Jay Tuck. What's up, man?
What's going on? What's up? What's up, Cowboys Nation?
Man, we ready to break down this matchup going in. We got to carve out a W here on Turkey Day, man.
Yeah.
Especially coming off that loss. Your hometown, I know that hurt a little bit being up in KC at the game. You and Cam were both there.
Right.
Yep.
What were y'all takeaways from that game, man? You got the chops going on, getting wild.
Man, it was a fun time. I tell people it was like you expected to get Wilder versus Fury, and you end up with like Mayweather Pacquiao. And I feel like we all expect like this heavyweight knockout, gunslinging 40-38 type matchup.
Yes.
But I want to say I think both sides defensively took that personal because all you heard is about Dak and Mahomes and CeeDee Lamb and Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. So the defense, both sides took it personal, and they both stepped up and played decent. Like even from our standpoint, even though we gave up 19 points, to give up 19 points versus the Chiefs at Arrowhead, I didn't expect that. But then to be held to 9 points, I didn't expect that either. So it was more defensive battle, but it was a fun time. Chiefs fans are some of the best in the NFL, like I said, but it's just one of those things where just like, man, I expected a lot more, and especially from our offense.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. I thought it was going to be a shootout, man. I thought it was going to be one of those games. I think we all kind of did, I believe I even said I'm expecting something along the lines of, Romo and Manning or something crazy like that, going to get wild again. It was far from it, man. But kudos to the defense, man.
Yeah, like I said on Twitter, it's like, if you ever play Mortal Kombat, right? It's like finish him and like you try and get your move off. And I kept waiting, like, okay, here comes the Chiefs knockout blow. Like, all right, this is going to be a wrap. It's going to be game over. And they didn't do it. And even to that last second where Dak threw that interception, I was still thinking there's time left where we can actually come back, which, he threw that interception. But it's like 10 points, 2 minutes remaining. I've seen things happen a la Atlanta last year, but Chiefs never delivered that knockout blow, but they just won the game. So,
flat, man. Yeah. It was flat. It was flat altogether, man. And I think, just the miscues offensively. And I think we all are on the same page with the offensive line play being one of the biggest factors in that. You bring Connor McGovern in there on against, and Arrowhead Stadium, which was, I think we were all kind of for that at the time, because what do you got in opposition to that? You got, Connor Williams, one of the highest penalized player in the league right now. So the way that game was going penalty wise, we're not really, we're not winning any fans over here with putting Connor Williams in there. So, there wasn't a lot of options.
But I'll say this, when it comes down to it, it's like, I personally think Connor Williams, outside of the penalties, has had a decent season. Me personally, I wouldn't have made the switch in a game of this magnitude. It should have been done the prior 2 weeks, and we could have went to McGovern versus Denver versus the Falcons, so that way he can get his foot really set it. But like now it's like, okay, one of the biggest games of the season, let's make this drastic change, moving from the right guard to left guard and figure out. But it didn't work out in our favor. The whole offensive line played poor, so it's like I really can't blame Connor McGovern.
It was. The rare sighting of Zach Martin, even Chris Jones. He was bad, man. He was a bad man. He tore through, just the best of them, man. Zach Martin, if Zach Martin's having a bad day, everybody's having a damn bad day. You know what I mean? So, but we're moving forward. Tyron Smith, we're done with all that. We're done with all that.
Men in Black Flash. There you go.
Yes.
The next game, Greg Zuerlein and Brian Anger need to not be our MVPs.
Right.
All I got to say.
Exactly.
Because they were our MVPs on offense.
Right.
100%. Hey guys, I got another special guest in here joining us. Oh no, he ain't ready. He's not ready. He's holding.
He ain't ready.
We're gonna wait. All right, I'll hold off on that. But anyway, So Tyron Smith is apparently he'll be coming back. He had full practice today, from my understanding. So that's huge, man. That's exciting for us coming into this matchup. That's something we really need. Just even gelling with the entire offensive line, and then if you're going to still roll with McGovern at your left guard position, what it seems like that's what they plan to do. That's going to be big for him, and offering him some help instead of having Terrence Steele out there on the other side. So But what do y'all think right now as far as McGovern or Williams? What do you do right now? Are you sticking with McGovern's, rolling with the punches, or are you going to bring Williams back in there?
That's the $1 million question right now, isn't it? I mean, seriously.
Me personally, I would go back to Connor Williams. Like I said, I felt like Connor Williams was in a rhythm. And we also have not seen, I've been trying to preach this frequently, we haven't seen our starting offensive line in unison one game this season. Like, we haven't had it. Like, week 1, Zach Martin was out. So I would like to see, what does Connor Williams look like when you have Tyron Smith out there, you have Tyler, you have Martin, and you have Lyle Collins over Terrence Steele, and see what the offensive line looks like from that point. And then if there's something that's still kind of faulty, you can make the adjustment. But now you kind of back yourself into a corner where you have to start Connor McGovern, because you got to let him get into a rhythm, kind of like Lyle Collins struggled versus Denver. In the second game, he played a lot better. So it's like, you can't be wishy-washy with your offensive line. You're going to have to make a decision and move forward with it, because I feel like even with Terrence Steele, I feel like Terrence Steele needs to go back to just being the swing tackle. But all these different adjustments and changes and experiments, we are not at the time where we can experiment anymore. Like, it's go time. So we need to find our guys and stick with it.
We've clearly seen that Steele needs Zach Martin next to him to succeed.
Right.
Honestly.
Right.
You need that all-pro. I mean, because he was compensating for him. It's clear.
Exactly.
Absolutely, man. And I mean, and a lot can be said about just the way that these guys gel together on the offensive line. You know, you have experience with somebody there. I mean, offensive line is such a hard position to play as opposed to like on defensive line. I mean, you really got to know where your guys are at all times. You got to have a feel for each other. You know, there's consistency there, and we need to keep that. So I'd say, pick your poison. You know, who do you want to go with? If you want to roll with McGovern, then do it, and let's ride it out. Or like you're saying, go with Connor Williams, man. The penalties are a problem, but you know, it wasn't. I can't say that it was just like destroying us. You know,
right? Exactly.
We're talking 2 to 3 penalties a game. Yes, you know, at very costly times. You know, but. You kind of got to roll with the punches sometimes, man. So.
Right. And it kind of conflicts with Mike McCarthy had said with the whole Lyle Collins, Terrence Steele situation, where it's all about continuity. So like, continuity was important, keep the continuity of the offensive line, but then you just completely just disrupted the continuity of the offensive line playing well versus the Falcons. And then you just disrupted it. And then, you know, Chris Jones blew it all up in our face.
No doubt, man.
He was just picking his side. Like,
Dak is seeing that man in his dreams, man. He's like Claiborne. He's seeing that man in his dreams, just like Claiborne, man. Not quite as bad, but goodness, man, he was a game record, man. I mean, it wasn't just what they. I think they gave him 3.5 sacks is what it ended up being. But you know, we're not talking about the tip pass for the interception as well, or the forced fumble that he also calls. Man, he was just and the amount of the continuous pressure too, and that's a lot of the things with Dak and people saying that he was off, and I understand it. He was off on some throws. I'm not gonna sit here and defend him all day, but a lot of the reasoning behind that is because you know the constant pressure. You know, and
it changes. The best of them. So
and people say, well, you know, it's Kellen Moore thing. You got to, you know, we got to get Dak out of the pocket in those situations. We got to do more screens. We kind of tried to do the screen game at one point in time. I mean, we couldn't even get the screen game going because the blocks weren't working in that regard either. You know,
and one of the main things also is that since the Chiefs did add Milgram Ingram in the you know during the season, they were able to slide Chris Jones back in the interior. So all that inside pressure was collapsing on Dak from the interior, where he couldn't stand forward and make those throws. And it was just, you know, we just got beat up in the trenches, and that's really what explains what happened on Sundays. We lost in the trenches, offensively and defensively. So
but you know, we keep going back to we're moving on. We are moving on. We are moving on. But it's for the sake of talking about what to expect coming, you know, moving forward into this Raiders matchup. Are you ready, sir? Are you ready to jump on? Ready. Welcome, Tyler. Tyler, what's up,
Tyler?
man? What's going on, man?
How you guys doing today?
What's going on?
Man, you know, trying to make it up to this next game, man. I got these guys, Cam and Jay Tuck, are traveling to the game against the Raiders.
Vegas. Oh no, it's in Dallas. Sorry.
No, it's in Dallas. Yeah.
I wish it was in Vegas.
Everybody does. Everybody does. If it was in Vegas, I'd have to make that game. Yeah, but so yeah, Thanksgiving Day, man, it's gonna be huge. I feel like our fans really need to stand up. This Thursday on Thanksgiving, we haven't had the best of luck last year. We kind of all remember what happened, and I don't even want to talk about last year. I don't even want to talk about that. But it's time to move forward, man. I'm ready to. I want things to change this go round, and CeeDee Lamb is another name that we're hearing right now. We're hoping that he's coming back healthy. He's still in the concussion protocol. There's a lot of speculation as to will he be actually playing. I believe he did some light duty work today, right? Is that what happened?
He wasn't out on the field when media was out there, so we're still waiting to hear that.
Really?
So yeah, that's what the report.
Yeah,
is that
if I had to guess, I would say CeeDee is out. Like, I feel like the Cowboys always try to give us this glimmer of hopes. Like, there's a possibility. Like, all right,
same thing with Tyron.
I know we've been through it enough. We know, okay, CeeDee's going to be a game time decision. We're going to look out there and say, "Where's 88?" Like, all right, I get it. So, hopefully I'm wrong, but it changes a lot because even on this I know we're not supposed to bring it up anymore, Zach, but even this past Sunday when CeeDee went out that game, I was just like, there it is. Like, no Coop, no CeeDee. Like, what are we going to do? So it changes a lot with our game plan and Kellen Moore, but hopefully this time they'll be prepared going into Thursday's matchup.
Do you think they bring Simi up, or are they going to roll with who they got then?
Well, I think Vasher and someone else on COVID?
Vasher and I can't remember. There's two of the wide receivers from practice squad from COVID now. I think that was announced this morning.
I think Simi is the only option at this point.
Yeah.
I think they're going to roll with what they got. They may even get a little crazy with it and put Pollard out there or something. You know what I mean? On certain. That should be a pretty good game plan. Yeah.
We could be the Jets because both Flacco and Mike White just got put on the COVID list.
Oof.
I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what the Jets are going to do, but.
Yeah, man, Jesus, they're about as much of a headache. And speaking of headaches, we can go ahead and talk about the Raiders and the headaches that they've had, man. Just losing the head coach, losing all these players, the Henry Ruggs situation, and prayers out to the family and everything, and to him. And then Damon Arnett too. Another first round pick. They're just guys are dropping like flies, and they started off 5-2, I believe it was, and they were rocking and rolling on all cylinders. And then they've lost every single one of these last 3 games. So and just crushing losses too. The Bengals lost 32-13, like 41-14 against KC, and then
to the Giants.
To the Giants,
right?
Right. And it's hard to be scared of a team that loses to the Giants, but man. After the Broncos game, it's any given Sunday as far as I'm concerned. But
right.
The thing is with these guys is that they still got some really good players, man, and they can turn it on, any given minute. So Waller's the one. That's the one that comes to mind. And how do y'all feel about that matchup against Waller for us defensively? I feel like we did a good job holding kind of Kelsey down. Kurtz did a good job, but how do y'all feel going into the matchup against Waller? Do you think we can kind of run it back, lightning strike twice, or what? Where we at?
I feel like go ahead, Kimber.
I was saying I'm definitely putting Kurtz on him. I don't think this is one that Parsons isn't a good matchup. I hate to say that I think coverage is his weakness in it, and even with that speed, he's not the guy for it, and we're gonna have to look for Kurtz on him.
Yeah, I feel like we've gone through the tight end gauntlet right now. We started off with little baby Pitts, and then we had Kelsey, and now we have Waller. So I feel like our defense, Dan Quinn, they'll be
like
prepared
the Oklahoma
for it.
drills.
Yeah, exactly. Like, all right, now you're at the boss level, like a little Mortal Kombat Tower of Terror, whatever. But yeah, I feel like we'll be prepared for Waller. And also, I've been hearing rumblings that there's a rift between Carr and Waller as well. So maybe there's something there as well. So maybe they're not on the same page. So I like the matchup with J-Ron Curse. I agree with Camber. Having Parsons on him is not the favorable matchup. Use Curse, use some of our corners, whether that's J. Lou, to disrupt them. Because now, since there isn't that rug presence, you can really just focus on Waller. Unlike Sunday, you couldn't do that with Kelsey because you still have Hill on the other side. But I feel like right now he's going to be the primary focus, him and Jacobs, for the defense to stop. Yeah,
you know what? And I'll say, too, I can't take anything away from Hunter Renfrow, though, too, man. He's a speedy, little guy, man. Jordan Lewis is going to have a hell of a time covering him, and he's kind of outside of Waller. That's really Derek Carr's security blanket. Go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah, it just seems like since that first game after Gruden, like they played really well that game, and then after that they've just been out of sync the entire time, like you guys are saying. So yeah, I agree with you guys with Kearse being on Waller, and then if you get Derek Carr, out of his pocket or whatever, he's easy to frustrate. He's just one of those guys. So we saw it in that Kansas City game. He just chucks it up.
He makes mistakes. He makes mistakes, man.
I mean, he's a good quarterback when he's like in the zone, but once you knock him off his spot, he's
right.
And they've been struggling with their run game, with Josh Jacob and with Drake.
Which is crazy to me,
has
right?
Has not been strong like it should be.
I would not have seen that coming, like heading into this year that he would have been struggling. I mean, he's played 8 games, but it's still like 300 something yards rushing. That's it for him, man.
Yeah.
That's huge. I would never have thought that because that was their horse, man. That was their horse. I mean, they relied on him a lot last year. So, I think they're still going to try to do that. I think they're a passing team. Right from the get go. I think they're like third in the league in passing yards. Right. So that's a little bit of their game plan. But I don't know, man. I feel like they're going to try to come in and establish this run a little bit, trying to get Josh Jacobs maybe going and kind of fully healthy and back, and then that I think that's going to be part of their game plan. What do y'all think that they're going to try? How they're going to try to game plan around our defense, and what are they going to use to their advantage as far as some of the matchups?
Well, I think they're going to want to get us open out in space and take advantage of their wide receivers with their matchups. Now, I believe that we'll be able to get pressure with Micah Parsons. I mean, from what we heard today at practice, that Micah Parsons was practicing starting with the defensive end. So I know Dan Quinn's going to send pressure at the car. But I think they want to get that favorable matchup with one of our linebackers or /safeties with Waller and really take advantage of that. So you're probably going to see a lot of 4 wide receiver sets to really spread us out a little bit and take advantage of it. But I feel like when it comes to the Cowboys, when you game plan, it really depends on how our offense is performing. So I feel like if we have to throw up another dud like we did on Sunday, then the game plan might change a little bit, and you might see a little bit more Jacobs being involved and maybe play that more time of possession type ball game. But I think originally they're going to come out and try to spread us out and get those wide receivers in space and utilize Waller a lot.
100%. And you know what? I haven't been too impressed with Keanu O'Neal this year, right? Not from what I thought that we were going to get from him. I'm thinking, coming into this season, I'm thinking we're getting a guy who's, he was a safety as well at one point in time, or he's transitioning to a linebacker. I know it's still a whole new position you have to learn, but I was relying on that coverage reliability, right? That was what made me comfortable, and that's been an issue of his. So, and this is a very specific question towards that. Micah Parsons, man, what do you do with the amount of excitement and the amount of energy that he produced against Kansas City? And he was kind of a game wrecker himself on the other side of the ball. So do you keep him at that defensive end? Do you slide him back to linebacker in this game to stop like a Josh Jacobs or kind of maybe shadow him over Waller? Or what's y'all's game plan? What do y'all think about that as far as where Micah Parsons should be?
I'd say you keep him at defensive end. I mean, he's just wrecking games.
Right.
So
Right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And we do have a little help that their left guard is questionable right now. Simpson, we're not sure if he's playing or not at that point. So that could help out with that run game right there.
I agree. Now, even I posted the video this morning, like I've been very vocal about Micah Parsons playing defensive end and just being a game disruptor. And that's what he is. Like, I feel like right now he's going to have to grow into being a decent middle linebacker, just that every down middle linebacker. But as of right now, he is top 2, top 3 defensive player in the NFL. You do not disrupt that right now. You keep everything that's going on. Now, maybe when you get Randy Gregory back and DeMarcus Lawrence back, you can slide him back a little bit. But as of right now, I'm not changing anything with Micah Parsons. I'm keeping him coming forward after the quarterback and let him do what he does best, man. It's just disrupt the game. So
can we all agree, like Khalil Mack-ish? Like, is that the energy that I'm feeling like from Micah Parsons right now?
Do we even like dare go Lawrence Taylor?
Big Game James. I saw Big Game James say that, man. I saw him say that. I'm not going to lie. I'll be straight up. Right at the beginning of the season, I wasn't comparing him necessarily his game, but I was saying that's the kind of energy that I get from this kid. That's the drive, the energy, the leadership that he kind of brings to the team. I mean, like the closest thing that I have to references for us as of recently is 2016 rookie Zeke. He came in with this kid fun mentality, and it really changed the mindset of the team, you know, and it gave everybody this confidence, this energy. And I feel like he's doing that defensively for us. I mean, we're talking about the rookie who is the unquestioned leader, in my opinion, the unquestioned leader of this defense at this time.
And that's the last person that won Defensive Rookie of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year.
It's LT.
And and Micah could easily take both of those right now, easily.
Because my comp for him coming out of the draft was Von Miller-ish. Like I compared him to Von Miller, but I feel like with Micah, like you said, Zach, it's like it's just a different energy, it's a different spark plug. It's definitely what this team needs. I mean, we go back to the list of all the players we lusted for in the draft, whether it's me and Jalen Ramsey, like we wanted that attitude, that swagger, just that guy who's a spark plug on defense, and we never got it. We got talented guys. D Ware's one of my favorite. He was talented, but he wasn't a spark plug. And you can see Micah Parsons just being a competitor and just like really put this defense on his back, but not on his defense now. It's more like the team. Like, because he was really out there, even go back to how bad we played versus Denver, the one guy who was out there still playing at 100% was Micah Parsons versus Kansas City, Micah Parsons. And so you see what he did today by inviting the entire team to his house for Thanksgiving. Like, this is a rookie, you know, like he's only been here for a few weeks, but he's already doing all the right things, everything we can ask for. So, yeah, man, you got to love what Micah's bringing to this team and his defense. So, yeah, defensive player of the year. I don't know another defensive 100%. Player that's playing better unless you're going to split the trophy in half and give the other half to Diggs. Like,
it's crazy to think he's doing this with like one or two pass rushing moves too.
Right.
Like, he's so raw position. He does like one or two moves, and then he's, you know, the more he works with the defensive ends, the more, I mean, it's gonna be fun.
And just think about when Gregory and D-Law come back, like that's what's going to really change. You get Gallimore back. Like, how are you going to really scheme to block those monsters coming at your way?
And I can't remember who broke it down that when he did sack Mahomes for that fumble, he reached 17 miles an hour in just that corner coming around.
Quick.
Right.
That
man.
Quick.
I love it, man. It's just he elevates like that. That's what he does. He elevates everybody around. He elevates everybody's game. Again, I love that about this kid, man. And he's shining. But I mean, how good does it feel to say but I feel like we're always constantly saying this. I will say that it's been all year. We can kind of like not make it as big as it seems, but it's been an injury riddled season. I mean. Every week, I feel like we're saying, well, but just wait till we get these guys back. Let's just wait till, you know what I mean? Right. So here we are. And you know what I will say, and I'm going to try to transition this a little bit. The impact that Amari Cooper has offensively for us is, I feel like, just as big of a game changer. You know what I mean? We don't look like the same team, and obviously Tyron Smith is a huge part of that as well. And I did an article on Tyron Smith as well. We're 9-14 without Tyron Smith since 2017. He's missed roughly 3 games a year. Is this something that y'all are looking at when we're talking about, and I don't want to dive too far ahead into that, but is this something y'all may be looking at in the draft next year? I saw Go ahead.
I got my draft big board up there. Left tackle, trade back, left tackle. I just want a bunch of left tackles in the draft just competing for that spot, man, because I feel like it's time. And I know, like, as much as we love Micah Parsons, what he brings, he definitely needed it, but it's kind of hard because we knew that Tyron Smith wasn't going to play every game this season, and we know what our team looks like when Tyron's on the field and when he's off the field, and I feel like they didn't really address it. I mean, just having Ty Nsekhe back there, that was a wash. You have Terrence still to swing. Like, so we really need to either draft a left tackle or bring in a guy who's more enough solidified to play the left tackle when something happens to Tyron, because he's going into that Sean Lee categories. Like, we know what's going to happen. So
absolutely.
So I had a guy mention to me earlier when I brought this up. He said something about Josh Ball, and he's like, "But I mean, we got a good guy back there." I'm like, "Who? This kid didn't even play. Like, I forgot all about this kid. Last I heard of him, he wasn't having a good camp, and then he got injured.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And like I watched Josh Ball when he was at Florida State before all the incidents, and then he went over to Marshall. Okay, cool name, bro. But that's not like there's not like you can't sit here and tell me that Josh Ball is a huge addition over Terrence Steele at the left tackle. It's the same thing, if not even worse. Like that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a bona fide starting caliber NFL left tackle to play behind Tyron Smith and really start preparing for the future. But yeah, Josh Ball and then no thanks. Like, yeah, try to get Dak killed out there, man.
Yes, yeah, man. I'm not for that. I mean, that's what I've talked about in that article I wrote. I was like, man, I went through all of them. I was like, man, you Chaz Green, Cam Fleming, just all these names that brought up memories. I'm like, man, it's been rough. It's been rough. We haven't been able to find a decent swing tackle. I'm just hold up for a game. You know what I mean? A game or two. I guess you could give credit to Terrence Steele for holding his own, against Atlanta, but it's still, you come right back to the same trend where we need one desperately.
And I think a lot of Cowboys fans, we kind of adapted this next man up mentality, and like
it's
sometimes the next man up, but it's not always as it seems. Like your next man up, going from Tyron Smith, All-Pro, Hall of Fame, Terrence Steele, that's a huge drop off. Like going from that position to Noah Brown, like the next man up thing is to always apply when you have elite players that you're losing. Like next man up would work if we lost Connor Williams and went to Connor McGovern, but like, so
no, huge drop off, drop off, man. It's not gonna work. But okay, so just offensively, if we're rolling without CD in this matchup. And we're rolling without, I don't even want to think about it, but God, we're rolling without Coop too in this matchup. The drops that Noah Brown and Cedric Wilson had last week were really kind of inexcusable, man. And that makes me nervous to think about, just Michael Gallup being the focus, of this team as far as the number one receiver, because I don't have a lot of trust in those other guys. I think we've all seen spurts, and we all thought the depth in this room was a little bit more than what it actually has, been, because they come in, they make these big plays, and you're like, oh my God, we got something special here. And then when we need them to step up, actually in that that number 2, number 3 role, official, it just hasn't really worked out that way. So, what are we doing? What are we doing without Amari Cooper or CD in this game? How are we gonna? What's our game plan?
Pollard,
Malik Turner.
Turn to the burner.
Which should be over Noah Brown on the depth chart. I still understand that whole logic, but hey,
yeah, man, yeah. Hey, I got real quick. I got Massey joining. He's gonna tap in with us. What's going on, Mass?
What's up? How's everybody doing?
The man with the beard. Jesus, that thing is crazy, man.
Right?
God. Right? You got a motorcycle with that thing? You got to get on a bike, man. Jesus.
That's as long as my hair.
There you go.
I got some Viking beads I'll put in there.
There it is.
Get it braided, man.
Got to let the kids decorate them, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely.
For Christmas.
Right. So real quick, we're going to dive back into this matchup. How do we feel about the running back situation? Right now, it feels like there's been some drop-off, right? From what I guess is, I don't know, I'm trying to remember the last great game that we had as far as running, but we were almost putting up like 200, averaging 200 yards a game, and then it was just a major drop-off. Like, what are we going to do? How do we get that back? How does Kellen Moore's scheme and game plan to get that back?
Well, it's interesting because before this last game on the 4D podcast, I asked Dan, I said, I did a Are You Worried segment, and the first one was, are you worried about the run game because of that drop-off that we've seen and because, it's been seeming to struggle recently, and it kind of correlates with Tyron Smith going out more than anything. But Dan was like, he wasn't worried yet, but he wanted to see like how he responded this game against KC, and then how he responded against the Raiders, and we didn't really respond great against KC. There was very little push. I know I see a lot of struggle with. I know Biotis is doing a lot better in pass pro, like a lot better in pass protection. He's not giving up as much pressures and stuff like that. He's still not getting a great amount of push in the run game, especially the short yardage situations, unfortunately. And then, it's really not been great, and we're not breaking tackles. That's the main thing that I've noticed, is that for whatever reason, Tony Pollard a little bit more, but Zeke has stopped breaking tackles like he did in the beginning of the year, unfortunately. I swear in that KC game, do we even have a broken tackle from anybody? I mean, including our tight ends and our wide receivers. It seemed like the first person that got there brought him down every time. On screen passes, Gallup on screen passes.
You got Pollard with the speed. That was about it.
Got there. They went down, and it was like there were so many opportunities where the play design was perfect. It's like, hey, it's one-on-one. You need to beat this one guy, and you're going to have a big gain, and we couldn't beat that one guy. So that's what I noticed really bad in KC. Credit to them. They were tackling great. They were making the plays. I don't just want it to be like, oh, we can't do something, but they were making the plays. But it's still a little bit of concerning, and
do you think it has anything to do with that injury? This bone bruise supposedly that he's had all season.
Apparently, he's had it for a lot longer than because he came up. It looked bad. It looked like a high ankle sprain when I saw it on Sunday. The way he went down, but apparently he's had it in his knee pretty much the whole season that he's been dealing with. Maybe that's playing a factor, but I think our line is not blocking as well as it blocked in the beginning of the year. For whatever reason, whatever's going on, we're not run blocking as well as we were in the beginning. And I think it has a lot to do with Tyron Smith. I said this before, I tweeted out. Tyron Smith makes your left guard better. Whether it's McGovern or whether it's Williams, whoever you have it, Tyron Smith makes that guy better. Just like Zach Martin makes the right tackle better.
Exactly.
Better. Like, when you have the guys at that level of Martin and Smith, they're making everybody around them better. And for how many years have we been saying this? When Tyron Smith goes out, we struggle. Like our offensive line struggles, and then we struggle as a whole. So,
and you know what? And I thought we were going to get more push in the running game with putting McGovern in. Honestly, I feel like that. That's one of his, his better attributes. I thought we were going to get that kind of run game going. I thought that was maybe their whole thought process behind moving him over there. Obviously, the penalties factored in with Williams as well. But, man, to put him there and to have Terrence Steele over there, knowing that, he had a bounce-back game against Atlanta, but, who was he facing, right? I mean, who was he really – nobody was terrorizing over there. You know what I mean? Like,
I honestly think they thought Smith was playing for the entire week. And that's why they made the change. Because I don't see – I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't see them making that change not thinking Smith is going to play. Because why do you make that big of a change with
in that game?
Like maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was just a really bad decision. But this coaching staff has made good decisions. You kind of give them the benefit of the doubt. I think most people thought Tyron Smith was going to play, and then he didn't. And
so you mean Jerry wasn't teasing us then and trying to, into the long, he really thought it was going to go down, right?
I think he did. And then hopefully Tyron Smith was a full go today, full participant, which is great news. Hopefully he can just muscle through it and for the rest of the year, honestly.
Yeah. That go ahead, Todd.
Go ahead, Todd.
I think we're like a few big plays away. Just by Schultz missing blocks. I mean, I can't be the only one that sees that. Like that wide receiver screen,
absolutely,
and stuff on the edge. I mean, it's right there. It's either he starts off the play way too fast when he's supposed to hold up just a little bit, or he just misses a block completely.
Nick Ralston.
I was going to say, I think it's a variety of a few things. So as far as your original questions actually to be concerned, yes, because I feel like we haven't established the run versus teams we should be able to establish the run against. Right. And so that's really concerning because Sunday we should have been able to do that. Now we go into this Thursday's matchup where, all right, now you possibly might not have CD or Coop. We know exactly what the Raiders defense is going to do. It's really stack the box and make me beat them at the wide receiver slot. And so not being able to establish the run, it's meant a lot to this offense. And then also kind of going to your Schultz thing. And I tweeted this earlier and people are like, what are you talking about? I think Blake Jarwin being out has impacted our 12 formation, not having that dual tight end set, because even though McKeon's kind of been out there, you got Sprinkle and some of those guys, it's not the same threat. And then also me personally, and I agree with you, Massey, I hate the Connor McGovern or Connor Williams at fullback situation. Because what happens is when you have this massive 360-pound body who can't get through the hole and make the block, it creates a huge wedge for Zeke Parr to get through. Like it's another gigantic hole or stuffing in the hole. And so I hate that experiment. I would like to go with traditional fullback in Ralston because I think it's going to open up a lot more opportunities. But Kellen Moore is going to have to commit to the running.
Though. That Garrett stole from us. Garrett got the 6-6 before we did.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I also think Kellen Moore has to commit to the run. Like, to have only 16 rushes, I believe, on Sunday, knowing the situation that you have is not enough. Like, you should have at least 16 by halftime and utilize Tony Pollard, utilize Zeke in a lot of different schemes. But I think they're going to try on Sunday or Thursday. But now you don't got Amari Cooper or CeeDee Lamb. So we know what you're going to do. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah. I mean, make fullbacks great again, first off. I gotta say that.
Right. But let the kid get a try.
But, I mean, the Raiders are 28th against the run, right now as it stands. So, but, yeah, you're absolutely right. They're going to tune in on that. They're going to zone in on trying to stack that box. They know that we're limited on our weapons, so that's what they're going to try to do. But and to your point, Tyler, Schultz, my God, man, he felt like almost a non-factor at KC, man. He just did not show. I mean, only showing up on like when it was like missing a block. That was the only time you were seeing him flash across the screen, and
he's been a non-factor for a few weeks now.
Yeah, it's been a problem.
He's disappeared out of the passing game. Missing blocks.
Let that price value come right down.
Yeah.
Oh, it was. It's not one tight end.
Yeah.
But the point about Ralston, man, is I get you, Tug. I don't understand why this kid hasn't got a chance. He is a monster of a blocker, and he knows what blocks to make. He can get through. He can. I mean, this guy is great at short yard. Look at if you go back and watch preseason when this guy actually got some playing time. He was blowing up linebackers in the hole. When he got opportunities for short yardage gains, he converted every single one of them. They didn't even use him in the passing game, but if you go back to his college career, this kid can catch out of the backfield as well.
Exactly.
This kid has a lot of talent.
He was great on special teams.
Yeah, he's legit
great on special teams.
He has a lot of talent, and I would love for us to use him. Unfortunately, he's not being used right now.
Because that adds a lot more value in the backfield than Connor McGovern.
Yeah, because you don't know what he's going to do. Like, he can do everything.
Yeah. So and right now we're weak with weapons. So you know what I mean? Why, like you're saying, why not bring him in, give him a shot? Let's see if we can get this run game kind of going because we really need it right now. With being limited as we are with weapons. So really need it, man. That's a big concern going into this matchup. I feel like if you had a healthy team, we have Amari Cooper, we got CeeDee Lamb, we got Tyron Smith, we got everybody on the offensive side of the ball. I feel much more comfortable coming into this matchup, but I think it's going to be a little bit tighter than we all think. If y'all saw Derek Carr's little press conference or whatever, man, that dude was fire. His ears were turning red. He was on fire. He was pissed. And I get it, I mean, we're the same way, but, to go through everything that they've been through to this point, they're just looking for a win. And teams come in and play the Dallas Cowboys. They play the Dallas Cowboys. They play them up, right? They're going to be ready to try and, prove themselves and make a point and get out of the slump that they're in. So they're going to be firing on all cylinders.
And Raiders fans are going to be in our stadium, and we're going to be sitting up with turkey, having the itis and not wanting to stand up, and they're going to
black hole over there.
Yeah, black hole's going to be fired up. I'm going to be sitting there I should have ate so many mashed potatoes.
I honestly hope they didn't realize with our defense that 67% of the Chiefs yards were yards after catch. Of their receiving yards, 67% of it was after the catch. We can't do that. We cannot do that. It was ridiculous.
Who's their speedy guy? We struggled with tackling versus Denver as well. It's just the yards after catch has been killing us.
Yeah.
So
they got Diggs has been this year. That's not one of his strong suits in tackling. He avoids it. Brown is a pretty good tackler, but our linebackers have been awful at tackling this year outside of Parsons, but it depends on where we have to line up Parsons, they don't have the best offensive line outside of Colton Miller on the left side. Lining up Parsons on the opposite side might be the way to go this, but then again, that makes a huge hole at linebacker again. Because
that's a concern.
Neal and LV have not been it this year.
No,
I think that's part of it. And that's what we were talking about earlier. We were talking about, I think we were all kind of in agreement that we wanted to see Parsons at defensive end. But when you think about stuff like that, you think about, Keanu Neal back there and Leighton Vander Esch not doing so well. That's the part that kind of, scares me a little bit. And that's what makes him valuable as a chess piece to me.
Yeah.
Speaking of chess, because that's, the love of his life. But that's really what's important it seems like what they're doing is it's game plan. So without Gregory, you're without D-Law, you put him on the defensive line and try to get some pressure, right? Now we're kind of in a situation where, our linebackers are looking a little bit weaker.
Right.
Do we consider sliding back and it being a part-time thing, or you know what I mean? Or are we just – I feel like everybody in this room was just like defensive end. We want him at defensive end. Let's roll with that.
But the hard part, we were so confident about our linebacker depth. Like, that was one of the strong points coming to the season. And it's like, boom, well, there goes Jalen Smith. Oh, there goes Jabril Cox. Keanu Neal's a failed experiments. You're like, okay, well, that would have been out. I mean, Francis Bernard.
LVE.
And so it drained out really quickly. And we should have addressed it when we had the opportunity. Francis Bernard. Like, we do have Anthony Hines, but he's not going to. So it's like we get the cupboard got bare really quick because things didn't work out as favored. So, I think that's why they have to use Micah as a chess piece, because they can't rely on Keanu Neal. I feel like J-Ron Curse is what we expected Keanu Neal to be. Like, that's the type of impact we expected for Keanu Neal, but Keanu Neal's been horrific to say the least. Like, I don't even know what value he really brings to us at this point.
Well, Neal and LVE had such good training camps and preseason that I think it built everybody up to be like, all right, these guys are going to be
good. We're okay. Yeah.
And then they just haven't carried that over into the regular season, really. And it's
and I know some people have said that Neal hasn't been the same since he got COVID, and that they're wondering if that's a lingering from it. But
because he was unvaxxed, so because you never know. But still, it's like the depth of our linebacker core is just bad right now. So
I can't give him that excuse. I can't give COVID as an excuse. I got COVID too. We all had COVID. Right? We're all fine. We're all moving the same way.
Yeah.
Let's not do that. But hey, so they had who'd they get? They got an old foe of ours. They picked him up from LA because I was thinking about speed. Like, they don't really have any speedy receivers, right? I mean, they got Edwards. They got
I forgot
Renfro is the slot guy who's like
Sean Jackson.
Sean Jackson.
I hate it. Oh Lord! If I just sit there, he's back flipping the end zone. I'm gonna be livid, man.
Why hasn't his ass retired already?
Right.
I think Edwards is faster than him. I think Edwards is their fastest guy.
Oh,
Edwards?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's the fastest guy.
Deshaun Jackson's always good for that one play versus down. He'll disappear. But he'll just do it, and he'll annoy me.
One play, yeah.
It's just like, Lord, I forgot.
Like last year with the Eagles. Yeah. It was good stuff, man.
I'm fine giving them up for that one play if the ending result is the same as that Eagles game, though.
Yeah, I am too. I'll take that as long as we got to get the offense together. That's really what it boils down to. But I mean, for the most part, it doesn't seem like they have been like a chunk play team, right? And I feel like that's where we've struggled against a lot of teams, is giving up these big chunk plays. With Denver and what happened with that, and again, to be able to do what they did to Kansas City, because that's the type of team that they are. They live off of that. I don't feel like the Raiders are really a team they're more of a driving type team, right? Like, they're going to just kind of methodically drive down the field. They're going to try to get Jacobs involved. They're going to get Hunter Renfro, on these little short passes. And then the only guy they really got that I can think of that's going to try to create a big play is Waller. And that's really what we got to focus on is stopping Waller and letting the rest of it figured out. Are we comfortable with just having Curse on Waller, or do we want some, two guys over the top, or what do y'all think about that? How do we stop Waller?
I think you
Yeah, I got two
rotate
guys.
Curse
You
and
rotate,
Diggs.
Yeah. Just rotate. I mean, because I'm not. I mean, you know what I mean. I'm not putting Jordan Lewis
Right.
on Waller or anything crazy like that. Diggs, I don't know. I don't know that you would necessarily try and swing him over there. And then Curse, yeah. I mean, he looked good, man. He looked good against against Kelsey, but you keep it rolling. Frankie's in the house. What's up, Frankie?
Frankie?
Frankie, you were
And
supposed to be on with us, man.
And I assume that Donovan Wilson's going to be out as well, right?
Right.
Yeah, Wilson's out.
So, yeah,
He's out.
I just think you can shade a guy to Waller's side.
Yeah.
I mean, since he's your only guy you're really technically afraid of, just shade a guy his way and it'll be all right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the guy that's Jesus, I just said his name. It's like Beasley. He's kind of got a little bit of a Cole Beasley vibe to Hunter Renfro.
Yeah.
Lewis is going to have to be on his game because Renfro is like Beasley, where he's a guy who is going to get those third down possession receptions that are going to just keep the drive going. So Lewis is going to have to be on his game for those, that little quick, shifty guy who can make plays. He's not going to beat you deep, but he'll get that first down on that crucial third down conversion that they need. So Lewis will have to be on his game. Hopefully he can have another game like he did in Atlanta. And I mean, the last couple of games he's played really well. I mean, this season he's played really well. It's probably his best season to date. So if he can keep that up, it should be good.
Yeah. We don't really have anybody else on the injury report besides Wilson, right? And obviously, CD's kind of watching, kind of see what happens, right? But I can't think of any other names that have shown up yet. I know it's still kind of early, but
yeah, I mean, hell,
they're just doing walkthroughs.
Knock on wood.
Yeah,
now,
man.
Right.
Situation. So anytime I see Michael Gilkins tweets, I'm just like, what is it? Like, I'm scared to read it.
Right.
We're good today.
And Frankie says any vibes. Yeah, Frankie says any vibes on CD's availability. I don't know. I've been hearing kind of some mixed reviews about that a little bit, but I saw, I think Nosey had kind of said something about it. It made me feel like it was kind of speculation where it looked good. It looked positive, like there's some potential. I heard that he had a light practice, but then I heard some other reports that, that we talked about a little earlier, that the media wasn't really able to kind of really get a full idea of if he was going to be availability or how he was going through percussion protocol. But they leave you on that cliffhanger, right? They do the cliffhanger thing where they're like, well, I mean, yeah, he could potentially be there. He might show up. Yeah.
I mean, it was very.
I'm gonna be hopeful. I'm gonna be hopeful to the end.
Yeah,
right.
He got to fly home with the team, so that's one of the biggest things with an injury. They have to have a doctor, a buddy, someone has to sit next to him during the whole flight. That was fine. He was allowed to go home on his own, and then he was in for meetings yesterday. So those were all steps in the right direction.
Man,
but
that we come a long way from smelling salt, man.
Right.
You're good. Let's go. All right. So, what are you guys' final thoughts on this game? How do you think it starts? How do you think it ends? What happens against the Raiders on Thanksgiving day?
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm worried.
I'm really worried.
Are you as worried about Max Crosby as you were Chris Jones?
We didn't even talk about Max Crosby. I didn't even bring that up.
Hello.
Yeah.
And when he goes off, he goes off.
Yeah.
Well, it just depends. If you're giving me Tyron Smith back, I feel like he's more manageable. But yeah, Max Crosby can disrupt the game just like Chris Jones. Because even though we did, we kind of knew Chris Jones, I wasn't expecting him to disrupt like that. So I feel like Max Crosby is more than capable. He gets constant pressure. So yeah, absolutely, especially if Tyron is still limited and Connor McGovern's not that guy at left guard, and so but I think our offensive line will play much better. I just feel like if you take CD away from me, you take Cooper away from me, we are like the team that we had prior to the Cooper trade, and we know how Dak fared in that situation. So it's like it doesn't look good because Noah Brown, Cedric Wilson, and Michael Gallup, they're decent wide receivers, but they don't create the type of space that CD and also Coop does, offensively. So, I think that's why Dak really struggled. The run game's been kind of limited. So if the offense isn't carrying their weight this on Thursday, I don't know, Cowboys Nation. So
because they've got what Perriman, They've got Perryman
Yeah,
back
and they
there.
have, you know, who
and
should have been
they took our draft
Trayvon
pick.
Moore. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Who's playing
Oh,
good defense as well.
Moore. That's right. That's right.
Yep.
You know what? I mean, they're pretty good against the pass.
Right.
Pass too. I think they're 10th in the league as far as the pass is concerned defensively. So, man, I don't know. First off, don't even be talking like that, Jay. I ain't trying to see no more burned jerseys out there. This guy, Ray Salazar. I'll call your name out, sir. Jesus Christ.
Burning jerseys, right?
Got his little 5 seconds of fame right
I feel
there.
like Cowboys Nation has cooled out a little bit today versus Monday. Monday was
brutal.
Tuesday's just been weird, but I think tomorrow we'll be back to normal.
I got the whole thing. We got to quit making excuses for the offense and all this stuff, you know. And I understand the frustration with it offensively, but God, I mean, you get what you're dealt. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, it's hard to overcome. People act like it's just so easy to overcome. The top, arguably the best offensive lineman, left tackle at least in the game. Top 1, top 2, whatever, however you want to put it. And they act like it's easy just to overcome that. And then you have, another guy out there who hasn't started this year yet in McGovern. And I mean, Jesus, man. People really got to
people 1 and 2 are out and just next man up. Cowboy fans are making excuses. I'm like, well, hell, like the Lakers without LeBron and Anthony Davis and Westbrook, like it's a completely different team. Like
yeah. And I mean, I got the whole the Dak thing, he's got to live up to his $40 million contract. Like, calm down, guys.
You got to give him something. You got to give him
Jesus Christ.
And we need to be realistic. There's not a team in the NFL that hasn't had 1, 2, 3 bad games.
Right.
Everybody
one
has.
of them.
No one is standing out above anybody else at this point.
I just want to say this.
Everybody's got that hang their head in shame game.
I want to say this out loud. I want to say
some are still having them.
For anybody who says injuries don't matter, the Texans beat the Titans. The 1-8 Texans beat the 8-1 Titans. So don't give me that shit.
I don't want to hear first-round draft pick for since 2019.
There's no quarterback in this year's draft. Like no one's tanking yet. I think that's the problem with NFL teams. Like everyone's like, all right, they're gonna tank. And you still got the Texans and you got the Jets like playing their hearts out. Like, hey man, just ease up a little bit.
The Texans would.
It's wild that the Titans have lost to the Texans and the Jets. That's just wild to me.
Right.
That's crazy, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
and those teams would. They would win and ruin their chance of getting their
Jackson beat the Bills. No one's fighting for that number 1 pick like they were last year. Like now everyone's just competing like it is. Like, even the Eagles, I'm like, why aren't y'all tanking yet? Like, no, we're gonna fight. I'm like, okay.
Jesus, man.
Oh, don't get it started. There's a couple people out there on Twitter world that are concerned that the Eagles are gonna catch us now.
Right.
Well, they could.
I mean,
they have an
technically
schedule, but
it's mathematically possible, but it's highly unlikely.
Right. And I just say from my standpoint when it comes to the Eagles, I know we're already talking about the Eagles, but I don't want that last game to mean anything where we possibly have to play ours. I want that to be dead and gone for that last 100%. Game. We can like set our starters, but we have to handle this. We hit a snide right now, but I think what we're seeing, you're seeing a sense of urgency with some of these players come back. I think for a while it's like, okay, well, DeMarcus Lawrence come back and wait. Like, maybe we need to move the timetable up just a little bit to get some of these guys back. And once we do, I think we'll be okay. But
let me throw this out here.
I'm not worried at all, man. 7-3.
Some kind of weird scenario. Okay, let's just say we do end up with the number 1 seed. Are you going to
don't do that, Josh? Don't do that, Josh. I'm talking the comment.
What are we happening?
Do you play everybody against the Eagles then, or do you actually give them a whole 2 weeks off?
You rest them.
I'm playing a half.
Okay. I'm more in.
I'm proactively resting because the one thing that you don't want to have is that the Eagles season is over, but you're playing your starters, but they're like, okay, we're going to take out so-and-so because teams that have that animosity and they're just going to be out there playing like, I don't want to risk it. So if we have things already secured, I'm fully a fan just resting for playoffs.
Even if we have the bye, you're giving them 2 weeks off?
Right.
Oh, if we have the bye?
Ooh, that was my question. Okay. We are the number 1 seed. What do you do? Because that's a lot of time away from the field.
Do you want to put them in and give us a chance to?
Well, are they going to go to Cabo or anything? Are they going to go to Cabo or anything with those 2 weeks?
Yeah,
like, we're going to do a border ban. No Cowboys players to Cabo or nothing.
I would want to end them. I want to end the Eagles every time we face the Eagles. I don't give a damn. I don't want them doing good. I don't want them making the playoffs.
We can end them with Cooper Rush, man. We've done it. Like, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
With Cooper.
And by the way, Joshua Anderson down there, man. I'm sorry to hear that. You kind of sound like a Cowboys fan, though. And that's exactly what we're talking about. You're good. You're good, man. It's a long season, unless you're probably the fan of the Texans or the Jets. And I'm sorry for you. Better luck in the draft, man. Better luck in the draft. All right, so official. What are we going to put a score on this? Are we feel like we're against that right now? Do we not want to jinx it, or how are we feeling?
I need a little bit more before I give score. I just need an official, like, who give me CeeDee Lamb and I can breathe. Yeah, give me CeeDee, I can breathe. If not, I'm not going to eat till after the I'm going to be on edge. So I just need to find out about CeeDee at least, and I'll be okay.
Are we running Wishbone or not? That's my question. We're running Wishbone
with Terrence Steele and Connor Williams. There we go.
There you go. Put them in there. We'll see what happens. I don't know, man. I think it's going to be. Tuck kind of sounded a little concerned earlier. I'm slightly concerned, but yes, and a lot of this does depend on if CeeDee's back. And that's crazy to me, how much of an impact a receiver can have on your team, man. And for anybody and everybody who says anything bad about Coop and his contract as well, and about him not showing up in games, keep in mind of what he offers to this team outside of, just catching and running with the ball. I mean, there's everything involved with that. It's the leadership, creating opportunities for other receivers to get open and make plays. I mean, it feels like last week, it felt like we were just kind of back in the Jurassic Park era, man. Like, it was just, it was brutal. It was brutal.
We were dogs walking into the city for Cooper to play, to be honest with y'all.
I said that. Yeah. I said if 77's in there, Coop and 88's in there, like this, it's not the same game. It's not. I just hate that the Chiefs get to still let the chest out.
Let's play them without Hill, Kelsey, and Orlando Brown. Like,
exactly. 105.3 The Fan. Broadus and Kavanaugh went through and took away all of their players that we were missing.
Chris
was
Jones,
like, okay, now do you think? Do you actually think
Chris
the Chiefs
Jones
were going to win? Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, man.
So Tyreek Hill, the list just kept going and going.
That's their excuse. You ask them like, hey, what was the struggles early on in the season? And you guys are playing better now, and they'll be like, "Oh, we're getting healthy. We had a lot of injuries in the beginning of the year." But now you go and be like, "Dang, the Cowboys have all these injuries." Like, oh,
no excuses. No excuses.
Yeah.
You just said that was the reason you guys were struggling earlier. But it is what it is, man. Cowboys don't get that. Cowboys,
our offensive line was hurt in the Super Bowl. That's why we lost. Okay, well, that's an excuse to me.
Yeah. That's exactly it, man. Who was? I think it was Vach Barty got somebody at one point in time. It was an Eagles fan. You know him. You know the who's that? Joe.
Oh yeah, Joe Castro. Oh
yeah. He got him on something talking about how he was like, well, so how do you think? Who was it? Lyle Collins played last year, or Tyron Smith, or somebody like that. And the guy was like, I mean, he had an all right season. Like, man, he didn't play all last season. They don't even know what the hell they're talking about.
Right.
They don't know. All right,
so it's funny because just real quick on that, like the whole point of the excuses with somebody told me, a Chiefs fan told me like, oh, injuries, you can't use excuses because the Chiefs didn't have their offensive line during the Super Bowl, and I was like I get that, but y'all lost,
right?
Not, you can't.
And that was a major reason why
that's not a good thing.
That was the main excuse that Pat Mahomes didn't have any help from versus the all right. So you know what? It's so wishy-washy sometimes with fans.
Yes,
you know what? We're going to continue to play our game. And
that huge storyline, he was running rampant all over the field. Yeah. Nothing.
What was he supposed to do? He had no help. Because you're.
And now this happens to Dak Prescott. Yeah, right. And everybody's like, Dak.
They told me on Sunday after the game. They said, "Look, great quarterbacks overcome their no offensive line," and I was like, "When? Name one." Because Brady struggled whenever he got pressure in the playoffs. Pat Mahomes got destroyed in the Super Bowl with no offensive line. Name me a quarterback.
Russell Wilson's been doing it for years, struggling without an offensive line.
Yeah, name me a quarterback who dominates and wins Super Bowls with no offensive line. You can't. There isn't one.
Well, whatever. Cowboys suck.
Elite. Yeah. He's not elite.
Oh, you read that thread. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the list. Y'all tell me just where everybody can find you at. Go ahead, Cam. Let them know where they can find you.
Well, you can always find me on Twitter at TOO_MuchCamber and hanging with my guy Zach here on the Double XO show on the Starboys Network.
Yes, ma'am. All right, Tuck. What about you?
Yeah, thanks again for having me, guys. You can find me on Twitter at JTuck151. Some of y'all don't find me on Twitter. You can also go to my YouTube channel, Cowboys Fans Only. On my YouTube channel, I appreciate all the support there. And also CowboysFansOnly.com. We just updated our merch store. We're going to do a Black Friday thing here, too. So we're going to get ready for that and check us out.
Nice. Got some great gear, too. So, yeah, definitely check that out. Tyler.
Yeah, you can find me at Cryptic Ghost 2 on Twitter.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Wait, hold on real quick. Are you still doing your podcast anymore?
Yeah, I do it every once in a while.
Give it a shout out, man. That's
a good one.
Plug it. Damn.
Right, man.
It's called Interview with an Avatar. So basically, like, if you guys ever want to come on, just like, hey, give me like 3 days in advance so I can dig some dirt up on you.
And he does. He gets some dirt on you. He does.
Yeah, and then I'll just ask you some questions. We talk ball, we talk life. It's a little bit different, so. Than normal.
In that military database.
I gotta work with you to find, man. I'm kind of worried.
He gets that good info, man.
Nice, man. Nice. You need to get the Burn Dak jersey guy on the show. I'm interested. All right, Massey, go ahead.
My name's right there from Twitter at BJA Massey. You can also find me with Dan Rupert on the 4D podcast. And then you can find my written work, of course, always at starboysnetwork.com.
Boom. Drop it. And 4D. I'm gonna go and say I might as well just break the news here. I don't know.
There we go. Let's do it.
Listen, 4D podcast is officially going to be joining Starboys Network as well. So definitely make sure that is coming soon. And Cam's also got a podcast coming up soon with us as well, Star Girls podcast. So that's all going to be on starboysnetwork.com. So make sure to stay up to date with everything that we got going on. A lot of great content, a lot of great people in this content community. So definitely like and subscribe to all these channels. Follow, buy, just love it. Eat it up every chance you get, man. Because
growing.
We're working hard. And I will say this one last thing, J Tuck. I saw your little tweet earlier, and it really resonated with me, man. Everybody here in this room and outside this room, a lot of people we know work really hard to kind of create this content to talk about the Cowboys. It's nonstop research, the setup process, everything it's hard work, man. This is not, it's like a second job for everybody.
Right.
So, absolutely.
We ask that you guys show a little love and a little respect to what we're able to do. We're not trying to be better than anybody or say that we know more than you, but we love this team and we're putting in our best effort to kind of put our best foot forward and show you guys and teach you guys and so on and so forth. So definitely, man, like and subscribe. Your local content community. I mean, you'd be surprised. A lot of these guys are more in tune with a lot more than a lot of the bigger name media, ESPN and all that good stuff. So as always, like and subscribe. J Tuck, I appreciate you. Massey, Tyler, Cam.
Everyone have a good Thanksgiving.
Yes,
happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Try to have a good Thanksgiving.
We're going to have a good Thanksgiving.
We're going to have a good Thanksgiving.
I can just add something. I want to add this because it is the holidays. Look, it's a tough season. It's a very tough season. We're getting into the holidays. Not everybody has a family to go to or anything like that. Reach out if you're struggling. Because this is a season that a lot of people do struggle. And if you know somebody, check on them, make sure they're doing okay. I've been deployed during Thanksgiving and Christmas season, and being alone, it's tough, man. It wears on you and it plays mind games with you. So if you're struggling or know anybody that's struggling, reach out. Don't just sit there and don't sit there by yourself. Reach out and get some help because you're worth it. So I just wanted to add that.
Absolutely. Completely agree.
To go off that, Massey, I challenge everyone's watching, whether this channel, my channel, Twitter, just call someone you haven't spoken to in quite some time. Just call them. Don't tweet them. Don't text them. Just pick up the phone and say, hey, man, how you doing? Like I had a challenge. I was doing that, I think last year during the pandemic, and you used to hear people's story. Like, man, I haven't talked to this person since college. How are you? And they'll start talking to me like, hey, man, actually, I'm not good right now, but hearing their voice, hearing their conversation, just try it, and you'll see the impact that you make, man. So
I'm gonna tweet that out. That's a good one, Tuck. That's
love it.
Not everybody. Yeah, not everybody has things to be thankful for. So, make sure to reach out, as Massey said. And I will also say this too, if you're out on the roads and drinking, make sure that you, don't put down the keys, hand them over to somebody, call an Uber. It's really simple. It's really easy, and have a good, safe holiday. Everybody enjoy your turkey. Enjoy this Cowboys W. I said, I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm
thankful for CeeDee Lamb playing out there.
Yeah, right.
Yes. All right, Cowboys Nation, we are out.